Hey everyone, welcome to Witch Hazel's Cauldron. I wanted to put together a quick video for you because I have just returned from my very first gem and mineral show. It was quite exciting. I went to the Fossil Gem and Mineral Show here in Denver at the Denver Coliseum, and I want to say that was the first time I've been to the Coliseum. And I had a very easy time getting there, so I was happy about that. I'm a walker, so I take the bus everywhere. And it was a pretty easy route on the bus. Bus stop was right in front of the Coliseum, so it was nice. The venue itself was lovely, very big. This is a very big show. And for some reason, one of three that is going on this week. I'm not sure why so many of them. There was another one at the Denver Merchandise Mart last weekend, and there's one coming up this weekend, or no, maybe it was also last weekend. That one I know was Fine Gems. So, I don't know, seems like a lot to me. But, additional nice things about this venue, the Coliseum. Entrance was free, and they had a ton of vendors. They had booths on 2 levels, and then also in the back. Outside in the back in tents. I did not make it outside, but I was very proud of myself that I went through and looked at all of the vendors inside, so that was quite a few. And luckily, because I went on a Thursday rather than the weekend, it was not crowded at all, because I hate crowds. Usually when there are a lot of people in a place, I get very antsy and I just have to leave. I can't enjoy looking at anything, so I was very happy that it was calm and low-key. Now I went there with a specific purpose in mind. There was one thing I absolutely wanted to get. There were 2 things that I thought it would be nice to get. So I succeeded, I think, in what I wanted to do. First thing that I absolutely wanted to get was a larger piece of smoky quartz. I have a small, well, a fairly large actually, tumbled stone, but I have a project in mind that I'm going to tell you about in another video coming up end of this month that's very important to me, and I felt I needed a substantial piece of smoky quartz. So what I found was this lovely piece that wanted to come home with me. And I think this is a very nice sized piece of quartz. It looks fairly, it's been polished a little bit. It's still a bit rough. But this cost me $17. They were charging by weight. And I thought 17 was extremely good, considering the fact that I had been looking at some other smoky quartz points or pieces. They were maybe that big, much thinner around, of course, little ones that were being sold for about $20. So I'm very happy with this. I got my smoky quartz. So this was the one thing I really wanted to find, and I did. Now, the other thing that I wanted to find, if possible, was a piece of regular quartz, a larger point that I could have for my crystal grids. I have been doing crystal grids lately, and I just wanted a more substantial centerpiece for that. I have a little piece of quartz that is working okay, doing all right, but I wanted something a bit larger for that to put in the center. So what I found was this lovely piece of quartz. And again, I think this was very well priced at $12, considering what I see crystals selling for in the metaphysical shops. They tend to be kind of pricey there. Which, by the way, at the end of this, I'm going to tell you another place I really enjoy looking for crystals and gems. So this was $12. I was very happy. I had to talk myself out of the $22 crystal, which was absolutely huge. It was big and hefty, and it was heavy. Oh, I loved it. But I did not really need that big of a crystal, not right now, maybe sometime later. So that was the other piece that I wanted. the one piece that wanted to come home with me that I was not looking for is this one, another member of the quartz family. And I picked this up for $5, which was reasonable in my opinion. I thought for $5 I'll give it a try, but this is pink Lemurian. I had never heard of it before and haven't used it for anything. I have to look it up, see what I can use it for, but I just thought it was adorable and beautiful, and I bought it. So that works. Now, the only other thing that I had wanted to get, if I could find it, but was not successful, was citrine. I've been using citrine lately for several things, and I didn't realize until after I bought a larger piece that, here, I'll show it to you, actually. This one. I didn't realize until after I bought this that this isn't really citrine. This is amethyst that's been heat treated to change the color. And based on this color and the color of my small tumbled stones that I bought at a metaphysical shop years ago, I don't think those are really citrine either. So, I mean, this is still beautiful. I love it. And as well as the tumbled stones, I'm still going to use them. But that kind of bothers me a little bit that these are being sold under a name that's not really true. Especially if you're doing energy work with the crystals, it's not really the same. So this one I picked up at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And that is my other tip that I was going to bring up. Museums. They are a wonderful place to look for crystals and gemstones. Museums of science generally have a geological exhibit where you can look at the different stones. Very often, I mean, it's geared toward kids a lot of the time to get them interested. And most gift shops will have a section where they have little gemstones. Little tumbled stones. Lots of times there's a grab bag bin where you pick out however many stones you can stuff in a little bag for like $5. That, if you are good enough at picking out the stones that you know you want, those stones, in my opinion, are every bit as good as the ones they sell for $3 and $5 a piece in the metaphysical shops. So your local museum could be a very good resource if you like to use the tumbled stones. Some of them will also have larger pieces, like the one I showed you, the citrine, or what they labeled as citrine. And those, again, I think would be more reasonable than the ones of similar size and quality that you find in metaphysical shops. For example, the smoky quartz. I have been eyeing, remember the little ones I told you about? Those were in the Museum of Nature and Science. The smaller ones, they're selling them for about $20. Now that maybe is not any better than a metaphysical shop. And the ones I was looking at were behind glass, so I'm sure they might be quite nice quality. But again, take a look around, because your local museum is probably a very good resource for you if you are into gemstones and crystals. That said, I'm going to have to do another video for you at some point about my story with crystals, because it's a little bit interesting. I have never had any interest whatsoever in crystals up until about a year ago, a little less than a year ago. And I think there are some specific reasons why I now all of a sudden have gone crystal crazy. So I'll go over that in another video. And lastly, the only other thing I bought at the Gem and Mineral Show, which I will show you just so I can be thorough in my evaluation here, I did find Palo Santo, which I have been wanting for a while. I absolutely love the smell of this stuff. And I have put off buying it because I think it's generally kind of expensive, especially at the metaphysical shops. This I think is about right, $6. And I've seen it other places for $6. The thing that bothers me is when I see it for 1 or 2 pieces, like they've repackaged it and sell maybe half of this for the same price. That kind of bugs me. So I finally bought some because I absolutely love this stuff. Okay, that's the end of my rant about the Gem and Mineral Show. So I hope this was entertaining to you, and I will have more coming up on gems and some projects I have going. So hopefully it will be fun. And I have a ton planned for October. So stay tuned. Thank you again for joining me. Have a good day. Bye.